Hello everyone! The Sacrifice update just hit, and what you can see beside me is the new Excalibur Warframe. Now, he's not really new, there are just a couple of changes, like to his 2, and obviously the Umbra mods, which are pretty good, some of them. But let's get right into the video. I want to show you what he does in Elite Onslaught. I'm not gonna lie, he's not a top 3 Warframe in Elite Onslaught, but he can hold his own, contrary to popular belief. Without further ado, let's get right into the gameplay. I'll leave timestamps in the description box below. You can jump right ahead after you're done watching the gameplay to see the build and my thoughts on him. You guys just watched what happens in the worst case scenario, where your entire team basically quits the game. You don't even make it to Zone 8 because Excalibur or Umbra, whatever you want to call him, just isn't a top 3 Warframe. He's not Sarin, he's not Vote, he's not Equinox, he can't do it alone. It's not a solo build, the one I'm using, so keep in mind that if your entire team abandons you, you're just fucked. That said, outside the top 3, the ones I mentioned, maybe I'll do a video on them, they're just that far ahead of everyone else in Elite Onslaught. Aside from those 3, Excalibur is such a fun Warframe to play, he's so strong. Even when your teammates abandon you, he can still deal with the enemies. I just happened to run out of energy because my Raktasernus was being leveled. Let's just say I wasn't planning on being abandoned. Now, if I wasn't going to use the Raktasernus, I could have used the Gamma Core and probably done better. Like I said already a couple of times, I wasn't planning on getting abandoned by my entire team, but that's OQ for you, so not something too unexpected. Going straight into the build for the Umbra Excalibur. I'm using Steel Charge, of course, for that melee damage, Cunning Drift for some range and stretch. The range is for year 2, so you can stun more enemies, and I think it's pretty important. Primed Continuity, so your duration doesn't get too messed up and that sort of thing, from Fleeting Expertise and Streamline. You saw how limited my resources were during the game, absolutely zero help from anyone, and I pretty much always had the Exalted Blade on, pretty much until the end, until I got surrounded by Infested draining all my energy. I was never going to run out of my Exalted Blade if I wasn't surrounded by all those debuffs. I'm using the 3 mods for Excalibur, the one that come with the Umbra. Like you can see, I haven't even leveled them yet, and there is no forma in my Excalibur. And finally, Chromatic Blade. I think this is just a phenomenal mod, and going into the Exalted Umbra Blade, you can see why. I'm using both Vyro and Radiation. 6 forma, this took me because I'm a fucking idiot and messed up one of the forma, but I also had to change one of the polarities because Sacrificial Pressure is a nerf to Prime Pressure Point, so I was like, oh no you don't, I'm using Prime Pressure Point and Sacrificial Steel because I don't want to put in a 7th forma, so to speak. And also I think it helps out with the critical chance, it's going to help out with Berserker, Organ Shatter synergizes well with it, that sort of thing. Condition Overload is a pretty awesome mod if you're running multiple types of elemental damage. So yeah, this is my build, this is what I'm running. Volcanic Edge is pretty important, believe it or not, because without it you don't have enough status. So you need one status mod to make sure every hit is going to trigger both Radiation and Vyro. It's so important and so awesome, and it's what I fucked up, why I had to use one extra forma. So this is the build, this is everything important. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't listen to anyone who tells you Excalibur is garbage in ESO. You saw for yourself, even with zero help from your team, you can still do a lot. You do tons of damage, you have a great CC, which you can use while flying through the air. Like, that's amazing. I showed it off, I think, a couple of times in the Grenier maps. I would dive into the enemy, stun everyone, so my team stops taking tons of damage everywhere, and then execute them. Just don't get too close, because you don't want to ever stop to execute anything except an Ox. Thanks as always for watching, I'll see you on the next video. I can probably do a top 3 damage dealer video for ESO, with of course Sarin, Equinox and Vote, because those 3 just transcend the game mode. Like I said a few times, thanks as always for watching, I'll see you on the next video, whatever the fuck that is, bye.